Hi, welcome to the lesson on persuasive writing letters and speeches on Monday, the 1st of February. So this was the starter activity. These are signpost phrases which I would like you to fit into 4 categories. So stop the video while you do that. The categories are at the top in purple. When sequencing your writing, when you need to consider an exception, when adding to an idea, when it's cause and effect. Probably best do it in landscape so you've got more space to write the words. Here are the answers. Sequencing your writing firstly, secondly, finally, then, after and meanwhile. When you need to consider an exception, however, although, unless, except, if, as long as, apart from, and yet. When adding to an idea, in addition, also, as well as, moreover, to. And when it's cause and effect, because, so, therefore, thus, consequently. These are other signpost phrases which you might find useful. Stop the video so you can look at them more closely. The lesson objectives today are to lay out in Word a letter and a speech, and to start at least to write letter and speech openings on the same topic, obviously having planned them first. These are the topics which we're going to consider. About which subjects do you have strong views? And rather than using the petal paragraph structure for reading questions, we are going to go back to the Peel structure for writing: point, examples, explanation and link, which is the way that you write factual writing, which is what you're going to be writing about. Okay, so extra hints are: don't forget to use the signpost phrases we saw at the beginning. Use some complex sentences for your explanation, and you could maybe use a short sentence to summarise your paragraph or an important or shocking idea related to it. And don't forget your persuasive and rhetorical techniques. For paper 2 question 5, you'll be asked to write a text in which you present your own point of view. You need to use the appropriate register for the document which you're asked to write, such as a speech, letter or article. And these documents have conventions which govern how they're written. So, here are 3 openings. As I walk around college and take a look around me, some days I'm incredulous. Dear Sir or Madam, I'm writing to, and I'd like to talk to you about something about which I feel strongly. Which one is a speech, an article and a letter? Well, as I walk around college and take a look around me, I think would fit better into the article category. Dear Sir or Madam is obviously a letter, and the third one, I'd like to talk to you about, is clearly a speech. Here are the middles, which are a little bit harder to distinguish, so I've put a clue on the left. As you walk around college, look at how many learners are on their mobile phones. Now that's in the second person addressing the reader. The third person is the second one. On the one hand, it's true that, but on the other hand, it's clear that. The third person means it's talking about the topic and not at all about the writer or the reader. And the final one is written in the first person. Another key reason I feel that we need to change our behaviour is, well, the first one, as you walk around college, fits better with an article. The middle one, on the one hand it's true that, but on the other hand it's clear that, is a letter because it's written in the third person about the topic. And the third one, which is written in the first person, is a speech because it's talking about the experience of the speaker. Endings. Thank you for listening. Clearly a speech. I hope that you're able to act on my recommendations, yours faithfully. That'll be a letter. So next time you're walking around college staring at your phone screen without looking, second person again, that's an article. So what's special about speeches? So you will have seen this speech. There's an address for it there. It's Martin Luther King. I'm not actually going to include it in the video because it doesn't transfer very well if we head over to YouTube. So I'll leave you to look that one up. A speech is a formal address delivered to an audience that seeks to convince, persuade, inspire or perform. From historic moments to the present day, the English language has given us some extraordinary examples of the spoken word, a powerful tool in the right or wrong hands. Spoken English can and has changed the world, and next lesson we'll be looking at a recent poem which was read out at the inauguration of the new American president. These are some of the features of a speech and also recommendations. Keep it short and simple. Say what you want to say simply. Don't use too many complex sentences. Rule of 3, a great psychological hook. Imagery. Build up images like Martin Luther King does in his speech, talking about the children, black and white, playing together. It will help the audience to understand you and keep them entertained. Pronouns, creating an enemy. You've encountered this before. Use we as a sense of unity and them for a common enemy, who are the people that don't believe your point of view. Poetry. Repetition. I have a dream is a phrase that's repeated by Martin Luther King. Very, very powerful. You can include this in your speech. Rhyme and alliteration to make your writing beautiful. Are sound effects used by poets and orators, that's speakers. They make a speech much more memorable. And if you can, jokes to perk up a sleepy audience. Laughter will actually help people remember what you're saying. They might remember the jokes later and nothing else. Persuasive letters. These are the features of a letter. So you might have someone's title and surname or their job title, their signature, the date, introductory paragraph, yours sincerely or faithfully, depending on whether you know their name, sincerely if you do, their company address, closing paragraph, their title and name, your printed title and name, your address and topic paragraphs. There should be at least 3 of those, and then a concluding paragraph, which is the closing paragraph I mentioned earlier. This is the correct layout for a formal letter. Can you remember some effective phrases for a persuasive letter? I'm sure you can see that what needs to be done or what we need to do. I ask you to think about, I'm writing in order to, nevertheless, on the other hand. Notice that some of these are in the first person, but the example earlier was in the third person and very much talking about the topic. So your style is up to you, but the third person is a bit more sophisticated. It has come to my attention that if you move forward with, obviously, surely, regardless, if something were to happen, then this can be fixed by, depending on what's appropriate for your subject. Here again we have some connectives, so order connectives, support connectives, going against connectives and explaining connectives, which we saw before. That's the summary for you there. So the task today is to plan and write a letter and a speech on one topic. Use the different styles, don't forget to plan. Try and complete 2 paragraphs for each and we'll be comparing them, and I'd like you to consider how they're different. Don't forget you're using peel, point, evidence, that's examples, explain and link or summarise each paragraph.